Secret. It's so bizarre what's going on over here.
When we first got in the country, we had no idea who was following us.
You think they know we're here?
We didn't know if it was the whalers, the Japanese mafia.
Somebody's behind me. I don't know who that is. They don't like me. They don't like my message.
Rick is world famous for his work with dolphins.
I feel somewhat responsible because it was the Flipper TV series that created this multi-billion-dollar industry. The dolphin smile is nature's greatest deception. It creates the illusion they're always happy. You realize after a while they don't really belong in captivity.
I'd never seen so many dolphins before.
The Japanese people don't even know about it.
They take the boats around to the secret cove that nobody could see.
They're afraid of cameras. They said if the world finds out what goes on here, we'll be shut down.
They were hiding something.
We need to get in there and film exactly what happens. We need to know the truth.
We needed people with a special set of skills to implement this mission.
They're behind me.
Let's go, let's go.
Good luck.
Underwater camera is set.
They're not being told that the free lunch means that their children are getting contaminated.
Let it not be said that you didn't know about it. You know about it.
If we can't fix that, there's no hope.
It is flashlight. Guards are moving. Guards are moving.
Get out of there. Get out of there now.
Welcome back to Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Fernandez. Tonight's topic is all about dolphins, dolphin captivity, and dolphin slaughter. And joining us still are Trixie Concepcion, Regional Director of Earth Island Institute Philippines, and Ana Cabrera, Executive Director of PAWS. Okay, wow, very powerful video, and this is from the Cove, a film. It said in the credits. It came. It won the Sundance Film Festival. It was the film festival in 2009, and very powerful. In a nutshell, Trixie, what is the Cove all about?
It's about exposing the largest and most brutal dolphin slaughter on the planet through a documentary which stars Mr. Richard O. Barry, who is the director of Save Japan Dolphins, which is a project of Earth Island Institute.
And amazing because Rick O'Barry, he mentioned in passing in the video, and he said that he blames himself as well for contributing to what's happening. Yeah. Now, who is Rick Barry? Again, for the viewers who are just tuning in now.
Yeah. Rick O'Barry, in the 1960s, he was the first trainer to catch dolphins in the wild and train them for Miami Seaquarium. He was also the first trainer to train the flipper dolphins in the famous TV series of the 1960s. So he is the one who actually started the whole industry of catching dolphins to use for entertainment. When one of the dolphins that was playing flipper, her name was Kathy, when the show was canceled, Kathy was brought back to the Miami Seaquarium, and from time to time, Rick visited her, and he can tell that she was depressed. Kathy was depressed. One time, he went to her pen, and Kathy swam towards him. Kathy took one last breath, and then never took another one. So Rick said that out of her being depressed, he believes that the dolphin committed suicide. And from then on, Rick vowed to set all the dolphins free, basically undo what he did for the Flipper TV series. So 40 years have passed, and until now, he's trying to set all the dolphins captive free. He's also trying to stop the largest slaughter of dolphins on the planet.
Okay. Okay. This slaughter, this video teaser we saw, from the movie, is about the slaughter in Taiji, Japan.
Yes.
Why does this slaughter happen in the first place? I mean, why would anyone want to kill dolphin? As you said in the first segment, dolphins are like dogs. I mean, man's best friend. They're beautiful animals. They help people. They empathize with with other creatures. They're nice to look at. Why would they want to kill these dolphins?
Yeah, that's a question that was in the mind of Rick O'Barry for a very long time when he was in Japan. Later on, he learned the shocking truth because he asked some of the fishermen if they can subsidize their living. He was saying, if you can stop killing dolphins, we can probably subsidize you for not killing dolphins in Taiji. But the fisherman got back to him with an answer saying, no, we need to kill the dolphins because we're doing sort of like a pest control. What do you mean by pest control? The fisherman said, well, the dolphins eat like 25 kilos of fish in a day. They're the ones disseminating the fisheries in Japan, so we have to control their population. Of course, no self-respecting biologist or scientist will believe this, but this is what the Japanese fishermen believe, that they are trying to restore the fisheries of Japan by killing off the dolphins who are eating the fish.
Is Anna? How crazy is this, huh?
Yeah, so upsetting. It just shows us that education is really at the very heart of the advocacy that we do. When people do not know about the true nature of animals and in the setup in the environment and how species are essential to, like, their cornerstone species, if you take that out, then it wreaks havoc on the entire ecosystem. If you don't know that, then you tend to make a lot of mistakes. And even in the dog and cat protection area, we note that most of the cruelties committed are not deliberate cruelties, but born out of an ignorance about the true nature of animals. And so while animals are voiceless, they can actually tell us many things if we listen close enough, and if we read enough, and if we look to our scientists and like documentation, and it's all there.
What's shocking about this is it's happening in Japan. And Japan, okay, number one, first world nation, very advanced. Their educational system is very good. And Japanese people are known to be animal lovers. So the mere fact that this is happening in Japan, and I can't seem to reconcile the two. I mean, if this were happening in, with due respect to my African friends, if this were happening to somewhere in Africa, maybe I would say, okay, education, awareness, okay, fine, maybe it's a bit low there. But Japan, how can this happen in Japan? Right?
There's, we also want to find out, but according to Rick, there's like a cultural dimension to it, where they will not necessarily, Japanese people will not necessarily openly voice out opposition to another Japanese person's, culture or another person's lifestyle. So if you notice, we are slowly but surely getting some Japanese activists on the ground, but it's not really in their culture.
What we're looking at now is footage from the actual dolphin slaughter, or it's called dry fishery, I think, which happens in Taiji. Now, what happens here, Trixie, if you can annotate for us? What exactly happens? How do they capture the dolphins? How do they kill the dolphins?
Dolphins are very acoustic creatures. They rely very much on sound to navigate the open oceans. And the Japanese fishermen know this, and this is what they exploit. So they have their boats come out in the sea.
Here we can see it.
Yeah,
with
that's
the boats,
right.
and you can see a whole bunch of, like a herd or
dolphins
you
coming.
call it a herd? Is it called
yeah,
a
herd.
Of dolphins?
It's also called
and,
a herd.
This is a cove here.
That's right.
Okay.
When they're out in the sea, they line up the boats, and they bang on. They have a metal prod.
There. Here you can see some people doing some. Oh no, this is a ceremony. Okay. And what happens then?
There's a metal stick that's from the boat. It's stuck in the bottom of the boat, and they bang on these metal sticks
to drive the dolphins in the direction of the cove.
Yeah.
And I can see that there are nets as well.
Once the dolphins are driven in the cove, they line the nets to prevent the dolphins from escaping.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and they can trap as much as hundreds of animals in one day.
Okay.
But and then they leave the animals for a while, supposedly to let the dolphins relax. But they slaughter them the very next day after the dolphin show industry chooses the nicer animals. So after they've segregated the nicer looking animals for marine parks, that's when they kill the rest of the animals that are not chosen for marine parks.
So the herding happens one day.
Yes.
And the actual slaughter happens the next day. And I assume that one of the reasons for this is, aside from the fatigue on the part of the fishermen, it's also meant to make sure that the dolphins are weakened. Because if they're corralled in a shallow portion with many of them having to share a very confined space, they're very stressed.
Yes.
They're very tired, right? And henceforth the next day they would be unable to resist when the actual slaughtering happens.
Maybe, yeah.
So what happens? I mean, so the next day, the fishermen come back and they just go and they butcher the dolphin.
Yeah, they stab wherever they can. They usually say they will stab at the back of the blowhole so that there will be instant death. But the observations from the cove is that an animal, it takes minutes for an animal to die that way. And if you've seen footage from the cove, you can see Japanese fishermen just stabbing away anywhere all the time.
And the water turns red with blood.
Red.
It's an awful, awful sight to see. Like the blood literally turning blue water into red.
And you don't see any kind of regulation. You don't see any kind of control. There's no humaneness in the way they kill the animals at all.
You know, Trixie, when you first started the second segment, I asked you, why did they kill the dolphins? And I don't know, you haven't really answered that. I mean, do they kill them for the meat? Do they eat the meat? Is it because they put the meat in restaurants? I mean, why kill them? For fun?
Well, the hunts happen actually because of aquariums. The aquariums that feature dolphin shows, they forward money. They give money in advance to the fishermen so they can buy gasoline so they can do the hunts. When they've already captured the animals, they've already herded them to the cove, the aquariums will choose the nicer animals for their marine parks, for their theme parks, and the rest will just be slaughtered by the Japanese fishermen because they think, oh, the rest of this will be competition for fish. These are pests of the sea. So we kill them and we will sell their meat to the grocery stores of Japan.
Based on the video that we saw, it looks like it is like a tradition. There's a ceremony, there's a ritual that goes into this. You know, I mean, it all looks very traditional. And I assume that this thing has been going on before the first oceanarium's fame came about. So there is a cultural component to this.
Yes.
Now, what is the basis for that cultural component?
They say many hundreds of years ago, of course, the Japanese people with their paddle boats would come out, probably catch 1 or 2 dolphins. But it's not a dominant culture for the rest of the people in Japan. It does happen. In the Philippines, in the past, it also happens. But what they had then were probably paddle boats. There were no mechanized, faster-going boats. So if they would kill dolphins hundreds of years ago, it would just probably be a few species, not enough to put the population at risk. But now you have more mechanized boats, faster-running boats. You have technology.
It's definitely unfair advantage that the humans have.
Yeah, and you can kill them en masse if you so want to, since you have all of this technology at hand.
Now, Trixie, understand that September 1st marked the beginning of this season, this dolphin slaughtering season. Why September 1st, and how long does it last?
Well, September 1st is marked as the start of the dolphin hunting season in Japan because it is a time where some dolphins from other areas migrate near the coast of Japan. And this is the time where the Japanese fishermen can actually go out and then herd them when they're transiting through Japan. So this is the start of the dolphin hunting season. It lasts from September until March, but we're very happy to report that since the start of the dolphin hunting season, this September 1, no whales have been killed so far.
Whales?
Whales and dolphins, small whales and dolphins, yeah.
Since the start?
Since the start.
They failed to bring them into the cove, is that it?
Because of bad weather now in Taiji, our friends and volunteers on the ground in Taiji are reporting that as of September 4, no dolphins and small whales have been killed in Taiji, Japan because of bad weather.
Well, thank God for bad weather. This is one of those times that you're glad it's there.
That's right.
Now, okay, what is being done? I mean, obviously, something like this has sparked an immense amount of outrage all over the world, including in Japan. And in fact, they showed on the air earlier than in the video that some people were showing ordinary Japanese photos and videos of what was going on, and obviously these Japanese everyday man, everyday woman was kind of shocked. How come not there isn't more being done against this, or what is being done at the moment?
Yeah, actually, we were asking Rick why are the Japanese people not so moved, because this is not their culture. A whole lot of Japanese people do not know that this is happening, and then Rick came back to us saying it's a cultural thing. The Japanese people are not known to be disrespectful of their elders. They usually would not go against people of authority, even if they feel otherwise. So they have a different way of showing their dissent or their disagreement. And it's not usually in form of an open protest. It's not usually in the form of going out and picketing. So he's saying there are people who are in very high places in Japan now that are with us on the issue. It's just that their methods are not as visible as the methods of the Westerners that picket, that go on the internet and stuff like that. But there are a growing number of Japanese people that are joining us.
Yes. Now, from the animal welfare side, I want to ask you, Anna. You know, a lot of people would probably say that, so what? I mean, we're killing the dolphins, but you know, we kill cows and pigs. We slaughter these wholesale every day, and thousands, tens of thousands. So, what's the difference?
There might be really justification for like that argument because killing is killing no matter what species, and that's where the animal rights movement is really advocating, like stop the killing, go vegetarian, things like that. But we are saying, like, these industries are not firmly entrenched in the Philippines already. Like, we don't even have, we're not known for eating dolphin meat. And like probably in Japan, there's already a section of the population. So we want to nip it in the bud. Our strategy as animal advocates is to strike at cruelty the best possible way we can, and given our resources. And so we prioritize, because there's a lot of cruelty all over the world, and no nation or nationality has a monopoly on cruelty. Every nation has like one or two things that it is very ashamed of. And for Japan, maybe this is it. And the whaling, the blight on the Japanese for killing off whales and killing off dolphins. But the important thing, I guess, is to get the information out there to the young people. When we talk to the young students, preschool, grade school, you will be surprised and amazed at just how much insight these young people have. In fact, I was telling Trixie, it's better to talk to young people than older people because they get it right away. Perhaps they have all this information already accessible. And when they read about it, if you show a child, like, this is what it took for that dolphin to be in that dolphin show. It was separated from its family. Second, it was starved. Third, if it's a traveling dolphin show, it is being made to swim in a chlorinated pool. And we tell them, if you swim in a swimming pool long enough and it has chlorine, don't you feel that your eyes sting after a time? And it has an effect on your skin. And what more, these are also marine mammals. And the common misconception is that dolphins are fish. They're not. As marine mammals, they only give birth to one baby in a year, similar to humans. So at the rate that they're being killed off now, it's not
extinction sooner than later.
They're facing extinction. And so there are many angles: extinction, cruelty, making them perform against their will, separating them from their families. And once the kids know that, they don't want to ever watch a dolphin show.
Hell, I don't want to watch a dolphin show anymore.
Yeah.
So, well, at this juncture, we're joined by Del the Dolphin, who's back again here in the studio, and he has another public service message for us. It says, "I'm born to be wild, Earth Islands in the Philippines." How nice. So, Trixie, final words, quickly.
If you love dolphins, I would suggest that we set them all free by never ever buying a ticket to a dolphin show. If you want to learn about dolphins, watch National Geographic, Discovery Channel. Better yet, watch them in the wild. We have so much in the Philippines, so much dolphins here, and you can enjoy them and their splendor in the wild.
Okay. Anna, quickly.
Keep wild animals wild, keep wild animals free, and that's how they were meant to be. In that way, we don't mess up our ecosystem, we don't drive species to extinction, and we are doing the right thing. We are being respectful of all other creatures that we share this planet with, because really, we're not the dominant species. We don't have control or power. We share this world with other species, and that should be our general attitude.
Excellent. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming on Philippines Uncut. And I would like to also mention on air that we will also invite those people who are managing these oceanariums and SeaWorld and such to come on the show and respond to what you ladies have have said tonight on Philippines Uncut. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So from GNN, and this is Del the Dolphin, catch us again next week here on the show where we talk about what matters to you, because you matter the most. See you next week.